Welcome friends to the fourth session of this course on manufacturing strategy. In our last session, we discussed the traditional way of operation strategy, where we have a business level strategy. Based on that business level strategy, we decide the competitive priorities for our organization, which are known as QCDF: quality, cost, delivery and flexibility. And to achieve those competitive priorities, we decide our operation strategy or we develop our operation level strategy. In the last of that session, we also discussed that there are different types of functional level strategies, and we need to have a good cohesiveness, we need to have proper sync between those functional level strategies. These are marketing strategies, these are supply chain strategies, these are human resource strategies, these are operation strategies. So, all these are the functional strategies, and if you do not have proper sync, earlier maybe in the middle of 20th century, we used to have these functional level strategies working in different silos. There were no connection between the marketing strategy and the production strategy, and at that time probably competition was not so severe. So, therefore, organizations survived even if there was not proper connectivity at the functional level in the organization. But in the present circumstances, it is almost impossible to survive without proper connectivity at the operational level or at the functional level. So, in this session we are going to focus on this very aspect, that functional strategies within the context of a firm, that you need to have a very strong synchronization, you need to have all these strategies at the functional level pointing towards same type of competitive priorities, then only you can achieve some kind of advantage, then only you can have some kind of edge over your competitors, otherwise it will become a very difficult proposition. Now, there are different types of elements which are going to contribute in the development of the functional strategy in the context of a firm. So, the first important thing which are going to be there, that is the positioning of the production system. This is the first important element in the development of your functional strategy in the context of a firm. Now, what are the different elements of this positioning the production system? The one important element is the product design. The product design can be customed or can be standard. There can be a custom product design and there can be a standard product design. The custom product design is when you want to offer a customized product to your customer, that is the custom product design. And when you are offering products like a commodity, all customers are using almost similar kind of products, that is the standard type of product design. So, standard type of product designs are produced in masses and custom type of product designs are produced in high variety. So, these are representing variety and these are representing volume. So, one important thing in the development of your functional level strategy is whether you are offering variety or you are offering volume. So, the standard names for variety are the custom and the standard name for volume is standard. Now, based on this, the other important element of this production system is the production processes. There can be different combinations, but two primary type of production processes are product focused and process focused. The product focused are those type of production systems, production processes where you have designed a production system to produce same type of products again and again. So, that is the meaning of product focused. So, the example like assembly line in our automobiles, that is a very classical example of product focused production process. On the other side, you have process focused production system. In a process focused production system, you have a production system where similar kind of processes are arranged at a place, and based on the requirement of your product which you are producing, the production system or the sequence of operations will change. So, the sequence of operation will change. This is not the fixed sequence, here you have a fixed sequence. So, this is fixed sequence and this is variable sequence. And if you combine the discussion of product design and product process, you will see that if you want to produce volume, you will go for fixed sequence, and if you want to go for variety, you will go to variable sequence. The process focused production processes are suitable for custom designed products, and product focused production processes are suitable for the standard types of product designs. So, this is to be in sync at the operation level even. And then another important element of the production system is the finished goods inventory policy. What type of finished good inventory policy you want to have? Now, there are two standard type of finished goods inventory policy. One is produce to stock and another is produce to order. Whether you want to have finished goods inventory available in the stock and customer is coming and picking the inventory, picking the products, and other is once the customer comes, customer gives the order and then you are producing the products. Obviously, when customer is giving order and you are producing products in response of that order, the waiting time for the customer is high, and when you are producing products and keeping those products in stock, and whenever customer walks in immediately purchases the product, so the waiting time is low, and in many cases customer satisfaction is also going to be high. Now, it is again to be seen that in those cases where the volume is high, when you are making a standard product using the product focused production processes, you go for produce to stock kind of policy, and when you are having a custom based product design and you have a process focused production process, you will normally like to go for produce to order kind of inventory policy, because here you do not know what type of design customer is likely to have, customer is likely to order. So, you keep waiting till customer gives you order, and in response of that order you are going for producing the products. So, this is a kind of pull system of manufacturing. It is a reactive system of manufacturing where customer order comes, and in response of customer order you design a product, you custom design a product, and according to that design you develop your production process. On the other hand, on the other extreme, you have a push based manufacturing system where you anticipate that customer will demand these products regularly, like your large number of FMCG products. Large number of FMCG products like chips, chocolates, soft drinks and so many other toiletries, all these products are standard products, and you have a product focused system of producing those products, because you are anticipating every time that the demand of these products are going to be there and customer is going to purchase, and obviously customer loves to have those products readily available in the shelf and customer walks in and purchases the product. If that product is not available, customer may switch over to some other brands, customer may switch over to some other shop. So, to keep the satisfaction level high, you keep these products under the push based inventory system, where you are stocking the finished products in your stock. So, this is first important thing, that your product design, your production process and your finished good inventory policy should be in sync. If you have so we can put in this way, that one particular system is you have variety, you have variable sequence and you have your pull based system. Then other is number 2, where you have a push based system, where you have standard product designs and you follow a fixed sequence of production of these items. So, you have these two extremes, and based on these two extremes you can have some kind of intermediate locations also of positioning the production system. But just to give you the example that these are the two extreme 1 to 2, on one side you have lot of flexibility and on other side you have total standardization. So, there are organizations which work on total standardization, where you have very low cost products, where you have very commoditized products, and on the other side you have very luxury kind of products where you give orders, or even in case of some B2B products, industrial products, if some company is making turbines. So, obviously you will have to follow this number 1 type of production system, which is a custom based product. According to that custom based design, you develop the production process, and nobody like to keep the inventory of turbine. So, turbine is only manufactured when there is a order. So, these are two extremes, and depending upon your products, your organization's business strategy, you decide your functional level strategy. So, this is the first important element of the functional level strategy, that what is the positioning of your production system. Then based on the positioning of your production system, the second important element of your functional level strategy is the product service plans. For understanding the product service plans, we will like to go to the class of marketing, where we study the product life cycles. Now, in a product life cycle, we know that we have these 4 distinct stages: introduction, growth, maturity and decline. So, these are 4 stages in the life of a product. You have introduction, you have growth, then you have maturity, and then finally you have this decline. Now, this axis represents the time and this axis represents the sales volume. You need to adjust your all functional level strategies according to this product life cycle, according to plan of this product life cycle. As your product or service is moving from one phase to another phase, your entire functional level strategy must support that particular phase. For an example, if you are in the introduction stage, so at that time you need more flexibility in the operational level activities, you need more R&D, you need a different type of marketing campaign, so that you can create some interest in the customers, in the target customers, potential customers. And the functional level strategy with respect to finance, that you require more capital inputs, and maybe during the introduction stage you will not get profits, it is more expensive in nature, because lot of trials are taking place, sales volume is also not very high, your capital investment is taking place. So, during the introduction stage many a times you will not be able to come into green, you remain in red, and your financial strategy, your HR strategy must support the efforts of introduction stage. If your product becomes successful, then you reach to the growth stage. Now, when you are in the growing stage, you need to ensure that your supply chain is very consistent. It is providing the products whenever it is required by the customer, because this is very critical stage. Your competitors are also trying to see that why you are succeeding. So, they will try to interrupt your success. So, you need to have a very good understanding at the functional level during the growth stage that I can sustain my growth. During the maturity stage, now you want to develop efficient production system. Your focus will go how to achieve efficiency in the production system, how to identify new markets, how to identify new uses of your product, so that you can elongate the period of maturity. We all know that in the current circumstances the PLCs are excusing, the product life cycles are continuously shrinking, and therefore, very quickly that flexibility element is very important to understand in the context of product life cycle also. Because product life cycles are excusing, reducing, we need to change our functional strategies very fast. We do not have much time between introduction to growth to maturity to decline, and we see that in our past black and white TVs were there for 4 or 5 decades, but once in India only when color television came, so after that on a very fast basis there are different types of innovations, different types of new products are coming within the color television domain. The mobile phones, another very powerful example, that how new types of mobile phones are coming within every 2 years. The mobiles, not only mobile, but in case of your computers, in case of your laptops, in case of automobiles, everywhere you see now the life of the products are excusing. So, you need to have a very responsive functional level strategy to support your excusing life of products. Then another important element at the functional level, that are outsourcing plans. Outsourcing plans are again an effort so that you can focus, you can concentrate on your particular core competencies. All organizations cannot have competencies in different functional areas. So, at the functional level, what are the things you want to do on your own, and for what are those things for which you are going for outsourcing, you are going for subcontracting, you are going for hiring out, and what are the things you need to do in house. So, these are the outsourcing, and then what are you doing to do in house, and you need to have a balance between your outsourcing and in house activities, because sometime you may see that organizations are doing everything right from designing of the product to the distribution of product on their own. So, in this way they have a very close monitoring of the production process, they have a very close monitoring of the quality of the product. So, in some cases this type of activity is happening. On the other hand, in some cases you are only doing the distribution or marketing of the product, designing, production, procurement, everything is being outsourced. So, in FMCGs these things are also happening where everything is being outsourced and some multinational company is only doing the marketing of the product or the distribution of the product. So, that is one extreme where everything is being outsourced, and that is another extreme where you are doing right from the design to the you can say after sales support, everything in house. So, sometime if you want to have a very high level of monitoring, whether high level of customer satisfaction, going for most of the in house activities is desirable. And when you want to have very little control over the quality, and you see that my competency lies only in the distribution, I am not competent in the designing or production or sourcing etc., in that case you go for most of the outsourcing activities. But as a balanced approach, it is always desirable to identify your core competencies and focus on those core competencies. Do not outsource activities related to core competencies, do those things in house, and rest of the things which are not providing you that competitive advantage, those things you can outsource. So, we need to have this kind of balance between outsourcing and in house activities. So, that is another important element to be handled at the function level. Sometime you must have seen in many cases the promotional campaign is being outsourced to some media organizations, because I am not good in designing my promotional campaigns. I can give my needs to the company, but then that company designs a promotional campaign for my needs. So, those things are acceptable, because designing a promotional campaign is not my competency. So, why should I keep my nose into that, and therefore, I will go to outsource those things. Then another important element at the functional level strategy in the context of a firm is process and technology plans. Now, as we just discussed that product life cycles are continuously reducing. So, when product life cycles are reducing, our challenge is getting new products to the market at a faster rate. That is becoming a very critical challenge for most of the organizations, that how to reach to market quickly. We do not have much time for research and development, and therefore, though it is not the part of this course, but the concepts like design thinking are coming very fast, which help you in taking your products to the market at a faster rate. Concepts like 3D printing, rapid prototyping, all these things are helping us to take our products to the market at a faster rate. Now, when we are designing our campaign for taking the products at a faster rate to the market, some of the things which are the recent phenomena, and we will be discussing about them in detail in our coming sessions. One of the thing is concurrent engineering, which is helping to remove those barriers between the functional level activities. Now, we are developing concurrent management, concurrent engineering teams which are coming, which are from across the functional areas. One expert may be from the manufacturing, one expert may be from the design, another expert from the human resource, another expert from the marketing, and this way we are developing cross functional teams in our organization, so that we can reduce the time of independent thinking. Now, we need to think, now we need to deliberate on a common platform, common table, and the terms like concurrent engineering and concurrent management are helping us in achieving that. Then things like design for ease of production. We are talking of ease of production. So, when ease of production, it is related to our production competencies. So, how to have higher production competencies, and that should be reflected in the design of the product. So, whatever competencies I have, my design should be developed so that the existing competencies can be used for developing the products. The other thing is design for quality. Now, when I am talking of design for quality, I am talking for customers. What is the fitness for use of a product? And when I have fitness for use for the product, accordingly I will design my product. So, when I am taking the customer's voice into consideration, it means my marketing department is in sync with my design department, and design department is in sync with the production department. So, the concurrent engineering is basically sum total of these different things, that your production department, your design department, your marketing departments are sitting together and then developing the specifications based on the customer requirement on one side and based on the capabilities of the production department on the other side, so that the iteration time can be reduced and you are able to give products to the market at a faster rate. So, that is the process and technology related plan at the functional level. Then another important thing is the strategic allocation of resources. We all know that all resources and to all organizations are scarce in nature, and therefore, you need to have a strategic allocation of resources where you can get maximum leverage out of those resources. That should be the important item in this particular case. So, the meaning of strategic allocation is highest leverage. We want to have maximum output from the same resources. So, like resources of cash, capital, the capacity, the research labs, the personals, engineers, the machines, the materials, all these are the different types of resources which are required at the functional level. Now, all these resources can have, you see, the two important characteristics, they all are available in limited numbers and all of them have alternative uses. So, when all these resources are having alternative uses, you need to ensure that you put these resources to that particular activity from where you get the maximum output, you get the maximum leverage from these resources. So, that becomes another very important activity element at the functional level in the organization. Then another important element at the functional level is related to your facility plans, capacity, location, layout. So, you need to decide how much capacity is required. Now, how much capacity is with respect to your facilities, with respect to your manpower. These are two important things, that how many engineers you require, how many chartered accountants you require, how many marketing guys you require. Then second important thing is location. If I am developing a factory, if I am developing a warehouse, if I am developing a godown, what should be the location of those godowns, factories, etc., distribution centers. And if I am having the marketing personals, if I am having my other information technologists, so where should I make them sit, where should they work. So, with respect to location, I also need to develop my plans. So, I need to develop plan with respect to capacity, that how much capacity I want to have, and then where to locate those capacities. That is the second important element in this particular facility plant. Then what should be the internal arrangement of these facilities, whether these are product focused or process focused. So, whether you have assembly line system or you want to have more flexible kind of system. I just want to say that nowadays we are moving towards more custom made products. So, we need to have internal arrangements which should provide good amount of flexible. If you have good amount of flexibility in your organization, so as per the changing needs, you will be able to change your internal arrangement. If you find that your market is in Western India and you have more marketing personals in the Eastern India, and if you have this kind of flexible arrangements, so you can transfer some of your marketing personnel from eastern part to the western part. But if you do not have this kind of flexible system, then probably you will be underutilizing your resources in the eastern part of the country. Same thing with respect to machines, with respect to other tools, so that whatever type of new custom made products are required, your internal arrangement should be capable enough to provide that type of competencies. So, in this session we discussed various elements of functional strategies which are required within a firm, and we discussed different elements with respect to those points of the functional strategies. So, with this we come to end of this session. Thank you very much.